go. The last click. Oosh. It's done. Hey guys, this is Jordan. That was my video of me hitting 400, or a clip actually from Twitch of me hitting 400 contribution, and now I'm going to show you my whole empire, my little node setup. So we will start out at the beginning. I'm going to go over here to Olvia, and then I'm going to go into kind of descriptions of why I have certain nodes, so then people can kind of understand. Basically, the way you want to play is you want to take the most expensive nodes, and you don't want to take the cheap nodes. It's basically how you play the game. So I'm going to start out with Olvia. All right, so we're going to come over here, and right now I have contribution in right here. So I have residence. This is basically where I do all of my alchemy at. As you can tell right here, all my little alchemy supplies slash imperial boxes. Basically, these are just meals that I'm going to end up turning into cooking boxes. All right, but this is basically one point here. This is where I do all of my alchemy at. Okay, now I'm going to come down here, and you're going to see this grape node. Okay, and the reason I have this node is because grapes are ridiculous. I don't know why they're this expensive, but they are. So this is a really good node to pick up. Almost 2,000 silver per grape. So what I basically do is I will just go grab grapes whenever I get a pretty big stack, and then I will just go throw them on the market and people will buy them. Okay. If I come over here to Velia, so we'll start here in Velia. I have these three right here, lodging, and then if I come down here to Finto Farm, we have the lodging right here as well. And I picked up the chicken egg potato, chicken egg potato. So if we go look at eggs, for instance, these are super duper expensive. So these are really good notes to pick up because these are almost 4,000 silver, making their way up. Very high demand item in cooking. So definitely recommend getting those nodes. Not so much the chicken, as far as I know, and the chicken's okay. So 1,000 silver, it's not bad per chicken that you acquire. If we come over here to potato, so if we look at this, this isn't that bad of a node to take as well. It's around 700 to 800, so pretty good node to have at the moment of this video, but who knows towards the future. And then same thing right there, we have the corn node. So if we look at the corn node, it's basically in the same spot as the potato node, and kind of slowly going up for the past 3 months. So basically down here is when you don't want to have the node. Basically when the node's around like 300 silver each, you're not going to want to have the node. So the way the market basically works is the more players that have that node and start to list that material without knowing its value, is they will just end up throwing it near the bottom, which will drop the price. If it gets all the way down to the very bottom, then typically what you want to do is buy it. The best way I could show that is corn to copper. So if you look over here at copper, there's 800,000 chillin', and it is 263 silver each. So you're only spending 263k silver for an entire 1,000, right? So if I was to buy this, cool. If we go over to corn, right, and you were to buy 1,000 of this, okay, 740,000. So it's basically twice as expensive. So that being said, I do not have any copper nodes. Okay, so copper nodes are really bad. You don't want to get those nodes. currently. Now, if copper goes up, then you're going to want to pick up those nodes. Now, if we look over at maple timber, we'll kind of look at the timber nodes. So maple timber's not too bad. It's around 900 silver. Fir timber is around 1800 silver. So also good node to probably check out. Same thing with cedar. Cedar's really expensive. White cedar's okay. And acacia's really good. Pine timber's kind of like in the middle. It's all right. Ash is terrible, so you don't want to have an ash node. If we come over here, birch is kind of below average, so I probably wouldn't even get birch as well. But I'll slowly show you my nodes. And we'll continue. The Trace of Earth, Trace of Ascension, really good nodes. If you look at traces, which is basically the bottleneck of alchemy, very, very expensive, very, very good node to have. And it looks like for the past month it's starting to go up. So I would definitely get this node. If you go to Trace of Earth, all right, 75K, just keeps going up. So this is a really, really good node to take. Okay, 80K each trace. Let me get my guy to process real quick. Just real quick. Sure. Okay, so that's basically my Velia setup. What I currently have that is pretty valuable. I mean, if you look at arrow mushrooms, they're sitting at the bottom. If you're looking at iron or copper, they're both sitting near the bottom. So you don't want to get those nodes. Nothing very valuable over here except, I guess I could get the potato node, but it's kind of expensive. It's like 4 CP. So it's up to you if you want to pick up that potato one. And then ash timber's bad. Sunrise is bad. It's basically at the very, very bottom, so you don't want to get those nodes. So that's pretty much a really good setup currently with the current market for Velia. Okay, so now we'll come over down here to Heidel. What do I have going on in Heidel? Down here we have the pumpkin, wheat, cooking honey nodes. Okay, so I will go over here, show you this. So cooking honey is almost 3,000 silver each. It's kind of making its way down, but kind of going up. So this is a really good node to have. Okay, it goes into a lot of cooking stuff. If we go look at wheat. Hold on. So if we go over to wheat, wheat's pretty good too. It's still staying around 700, which is pretty good compared to 3 months ago. It used to be very, very cheap, so it would have been a really good time to buy the wheat. And then I also have a flax node. Now, flax isn't that great, but the only reason I have this node is to level up a worker. So currently what I'm working on for my whole entire empire is trying to get artisan goblins, which is pretty hard to do. It does take time to do. So that's basically what I've been working on. So currently we just have this node to level up that character. If we come over here to Glish, I send a worker over here to get Trace of Origin, Trace of Hunting. This is a really, really good node as well. Now I still need to work on getting an artisan goblin, but basically I send a worker from Glish to that node. What do we have going on in Glish? This is basically where I cook at. So you saw in Olvia, that's where I do alchemy at, and this is where I do cooking at. And the main reason why I picked Glish, a lot of people ask me why I picked Glish, is just because my PC, whenever I stream, is pretty bad in like big towns. I have like a 3 to 4 year old computer, so Heidel, Calpheon, and Velia are probably the most busiest places in the game. So typically I would probably, if I had a better computer, I would probably cook in Heidel. but because I don't, this is why I cook in Glish. So this is just my little cook center where I keep all my cook goods. And yeah. If we come over here, I also picked up this node, Trace of Savagery, Trace of Hunting, also a good node to take. The traces are pretty good. If I come down here, or this is actually kind of optional. It just depends on the market. Trace of Savagery was worth something, but now it's kind of not. But I still recommend taking trace nodes because they're so slow, and they're still valuable. So even though this is 10K and this is 10K, these are still pretty valuable nodes to have, even if you don't know what to do with them. Now, if we come over here, also from Heidel, I took this node, which is Trace of Earth, which is very, very expensive currently in the market, so definitely recommend getting that node. And if we come over here, we have the Zinc node, which is probably the only good ore node currently in the game. Tin is okay. Tin's pretty good as well. If I scroll down here, I don't know why I gotta scroll down, but tin is also pretty good, around 1300 silver. But then again, you know, if you look at copper, copper is garbage. If you look at iron, iron is garbage. You do not want these nodes. So currently back then, when they were up here to 600, it was pretty good to have these nodes. What else do we have over here? We have Acacia and White Cedar and Maple. Okay, so these nodes are okay. They're pretty good. If we go look at Timber, you have Acacia node, which is 1500, pretty good, or one of the top for timbers at the moment. And then you have White Cedar, which is an okay node. Also, it comes with the sap. So if we go look at saps, okay, so right now, if you have a bunch of sap and you don't know what to do with it, but you have it lying around, these are really expensive, and I recommend selling them because they used to be mid-price. So you have White Cedar sap, which is 6,000 each. You have Acacia sap, which is another almost 1,000 or 6,000 right there. If we come down here to Elder Tree sap, really good sap. A lot of people want Elder Tree sap. So that might be a node to check out. So those are really good nodes. And that is pretty much my Heidel setup, what I currently have going on right now. We'll come over here to Keplon. All right, I have this coal node and cedar node. Okay, cedar is really good. It's around 1,200. Coal's really good right now, around 1,200. So I definitely recommend picking up these nodes. These nodes are really good. Pretty good nodes. Now we're actually going to skip Calpheon. I'm going to go back to Calpheon, but we're going to go to Port Eufaria. Okay, and these are fish nodes. I do a lot of cooking, and so the reason why I take a pretty decent amount of fish nodes is for the use of the fish. So the reason I pick this node up is mainly for Arihaza meal. I cook a lot of Arihaza meal for Guru boxes, so I definitely recommend taking fish nodes if you do want Arihaza. It also depends on the fish prices, which I believe are good. I think they're still around 1,000 each. Yeah, if we look at dried fish, yeah, so it's pretty much like sold out, around 1,300 each. Definitely recommend getting those. And that's just one use that I use it for is Arihaza meal, and I have a couple other uses that I use fish for. But yeah, so that's pretty much my Port Eufaria spot. I think I have one lodging here. Yeah, I have one lodging. you get 1 free worker. And then I also have, just to show, which I think I forgot to talk about in the very beginning of the video, was the pay-to-win lodging. So I definitely recommend getting this if you love the node setup. And if you want to make pretty much the most silver possible with your whole node empire. It's pretty cheap, very cheap, 67 cents, at least for NA, North America. So 67 each worker, and you can have up to 3 in each town. So $1, or a total of $3 for 3 free workers, and you can put them on nodes. It'll actually save you a lot of contribution and let you grab more nodes. Okay, so starting with Calpheon, what I currently have set up is I have Diaz Farm to Northern Wheat Plantation. This is to take the wheat node and the barley node. Okay. And these nodes are really, really good right now. Grain nodes, definitely recommend picking up those nodes. If I come over here, we have the Trace of Battle, Trace of Forest node. Also good nodes because of traces. Very, very important nodes. You can make good silver off traces. If we come down here, okay, I have this connected like this, and I believe I am sending a Calpheon worker from here, or from, yeah, Calpheon over to the Trent area, okay? And we're currently leveling him up all the way to 30, okay? And I believe that's it for my whole Calpheon area. I used to have these birch nodes, but these birch nodes are really bad since birch is super cheap right now. If we come over here, what do I have going on in Calpheon? This is kind of like where I process at. This is my whole like processing center setup. And currently what I have running right now is a couple of crate people making my crates, which I'll show you near the end of the video, what I've been sort of working on. So right now I am pumping copper trash crates, which is mainly just for XP. This isn't really for money, but this is just kind of to clean out my inventory and just exchange it for silver without a tax loss. So basically, if you send your copper to the market, then you receive a tax loss, and basically when you turn in crates, you don't have that tax loss. So that's nice. And yeah, that's why I've been making trash crates, mainly just to level up trading. I have a Sunrise Herb crate rolling through as well. We have a Palm Timber crate, and I'll explain why I have these crates running as well. And I believe that is it. And I basically took these right now. So I have all the lodging in Calpheon mainly from there. And I'm also working on, I believe that I just picked this up a couple days ago, and I'm working on trying to exchange all these workers for artisan goblins. So I'm trying to get rid of my artisan humans for artisan goblins. However, I might keep this dude because this dude has a crate worker on him. So that's currently my Calpheon setup. Now I'm going to come down here to Trent. Kind of a lot going on in Trent. We have cedar and fir, which are really, really good nodes to take. They're very expensive. Same thing down here, cedar, cedar, fir. Over here we have another fir node, and we also have the trace of despair and trace of violence. Trace of violence is really expensive, so you're going to want that node. Very, very good node. Come over here, I have the tin and rough crystals because tin on NA is good, so that's why I have those nodes. Same thing for Bearhead, another tin node. And What we have going on in Trent down here is palm timber trash crate running, and same thing for copper or trash crate. And basically I am sending worker from either Grana or from Old Wisdom Tree up here to make these trash crates. Same thing with the copper. I'm sending a worker from Old Wisdom Tree currently. And then up here we have the palm timber node going. And sometimes I will open up this node for the mineral workbench if I need another crate going. But currently I'm not trying to pump out too many crates at the moment. So it's currently that, and then I have this node also from Calpheon. And the only reason I have this node, Trace of Despair and Trace of Forest, is mainly for the Trace of Forest, because currently in the game I'm working on trying to make a +5 Gathers close, just to push XP on. So that's where I am currently at with why I have that node. So this is kind of like an extra node. That's what I would call it. This is just kind of like I have a lot of CP, and I either could dump it into more crates, or I could just pick a random node and start getting materials from it. So that's what this node is. This node is just a random, what I would consider a random node. I could take this out anytime, but it's still alright node. So then we'll come down here, and or it still has value to it, that's what I meant to say. Basically I'm connected all the way down here to Old Wisdom so that I can send my crate dude up here, okay? And as you can see, we got copper crates coming. In the past I've done brass crates, and I have palm timber crates coming. I also have sunrise herb. I believe I sent this worker to Calpheon, so he's just running back and forth to Calpheon. And this is kind of like my Old Wisdom Tree setup. I also have Everlasting Herb that I can exchange once I get a big enough batch of this. Then I will swap this worker from Sunrise Herbs to Everlasting Herb. Same thing with brass crates. Currently what I'm doing is I am waiting till I build up enough money crate items that I will eventually change my trash crates over to money crates. Hopefully that makes somewhat sense. So right now I have trash crates running, and then eventually I will turn eventually whenever I build up my own material, then I will swap over to money crates and burn through those materials. Okay, so that's currently what's happening in Old Wisdom Tree. And then I'm connected through Mansions, Central, Lemuria Camp, Whitewood Forest, and then down here, this is Lake Flaunder. And the reason I have this node is because Nokor and Powder of Earth are really, really good. If you look at the market, if we go to Nokor, Nokor is actually at cap. So of this video, but who knows, maybe a lot of you guys have a lot of Nokor, and now you can unleash on the market, but currently we're sitting at 1,000, so and it used to sit at mid price, so that's why I have that node. If we go to Trace of Earth, or no, Powder of Earth, my bad. If we come over here, it's pretty good. I used to set at minimum, and now because of bartering and on top of that other uses for Powder of Earth, this price has gone way up. We're sitting at almost 5k each. So Powder of Earth, that's why I have that node, and it's really, really, really quick too. I get a ton of Powder of Earth every day from this node. Now if I come over here, this is kind of like an extra node. Oh yeah, and another reason why I have this node is because I am currently trying to work on leveling up this worker. So regardless of whether or not this worker or this node was good or not, I'm trying to level up this character to get crates on him. Okay, so Currently we got 2 thrifties. I wouldn't mind getting the thrifty A, and then I'm going to keep rolling until I get a crate on him, whether it's timber or ore. It's basically what I'm trying to aim towards. Same thing with over here. I have this worker with all 3 thrifties, trying to get him to also learn a crate skill. So he is just currently leveling off this. Also, Trace of Forest, which, like how I told you guys, I was trying to go for a gather +3 or +5. So that's why I have this node, is just to kind of build up my Trace of Forest, so I don't have to spend as much silver later when going for it. Okay, and then if I come over here, I have Loopy Tree Sap, Loopy Tree Plank, and Loopy Tree Timber. This is also an extra node that I don't really use the materials for, but the only reason I do have it is for the Loopy Tree Sap, which is pretty decent. Currently right now we're sitting at 10k each, so it's really good time to sell it. I can make a lot of silver. Basically every 1,000 is 10 mil. Okay, so that's kind of how you want to think of nodes, is you just want the expensive stuff. Let me go ahead and just keep doing this. You want the super expensive stuff, so that's why I have that Loopy Tree node, and it is also to level up the worker, just to keep rolling his skills till I get him basically perfect. So the only thing I have to do on this guy is exchange the polished knowledge for another thrifty, and then he will be good. Okay, so that's why I have that there. And yeah, I don't have anything in grunt. I guess I have this. I have lodging. So I have this so that I can have more workers, so I can roll skills a lot quicker, if that makes sense. And currently crates, I have the palm timber going off, and I believe that's it. That's all I have running right now. Okay, so that is kind of this area. Now we're going to come down here over to Duvenkroon. Okay, so what do I currently have at Duvenkroon? I'm connected up here, down here, over here. I did have the Trace of Memory, but now I am farming this node for the zinc and the mithril. Okay, and mainly the mithril because I just got a T9, so I wish I could show you guys in this video. I guess we got a T9 2 days ago, so I am trying to get the materials that are basically sold out on the market. It's a very expensive node. I don't think it's really worth it, but there's none on the market, so that is why I'm trying to get that node, or why I have that node. We're also connected up here from Duvenkroon, which is Trace of Origin. Okay, really good node to pick up. And then down here we have an alright node, Pine Timber. It's okay, and then Pine Sap is also okay with the current price, so it's an alright node currently to take. So that's basically all of that. I do not have anything in tariff currently. If we come over to Alta Nova, this I would consider is just an extra node, and me kind of being lazy. I don't even think it's worth the CP, but I don't want to gather water, and I don't want to I do not want to what is the word? I do not want to buy it. So what I do is, for my alchemy, I have one worker right here that I connected for purified water and bag of muddy water. So basically I will just use this for my own alchemy stash whenever I need it, or if I want to sell it. Purified water does sell for a lot, and people do buy it. So sitting here around 5K each. So if you, yeah, that's why I have that node. So it's still pretty decent. It helps me kind of sustain the amount of alchemy that I do. And it also, if I don't feel like doing alchemy and if I start to overstock, I can also sell it. So that's why I have that node. If we come up here, all right, we're at Shakatu. These are my current nodes. I have the Fig node, okay, the Nutmeg node, and the Vanadium node, okay. So we have the Fig node because currently on NA, if you come over here, Fig is sold out, and it is skyrocketing. So this is a really good node, but as soon as this video goes out, it might not be a good node. But right now it's very, very valuable. So it's a really, really super duper good node, and you get a lot. So I definitely recommend picking it up. There's the tick. I got 43. So yeah, you can do the math. 43 times 15K each. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do the math. 15K. Actually, let me pop this up. 15K times, or wait, not 15K, 1500, my bad. So 1500 times, whoa, buddy. So 1500 times, what in the world is going on? Clear that. 1500 times 43, and bam. 65K. So my worker just brought in 65K, and he does it every like 20-ish minutes. So it's a very, very good node to pick up currently on NA. Definitely recommend getting that node. We're going to come up here. We're going to go over to Nutmeg. Same instance. If I go over to the market, we type in Nutmeg. It is sitting at max price 3,700. So I will definitely be, as I am done with this video, throwing up some Nutmeg for the people that want it. Super duper expensive. And then we come over here, Vanadium. Vanadium nodes are okay. So Vanadium, Titanium, these nodes are all right. They were really, really good. But they're just kind of all right now. So that is that, and mainly the reason I have this is for Manos accessories. If I come over here to Valencia, I currently have the Daypalm node and the Freaky node. Okay, so if we go over here and type Freaky, same sort of deal. It's capped out, max price. A lot of people want it. Really good node. And we look at Daypalm as well. Also capped out, 3K each. Another good node. So yeah, that is Valencia. I also send workers up here from Valencia. So Valencia up here, and we have the Titanium, Vanadium nodes, same thing. Mainly the only reason I have these nodes is for Manos to craft them. If we come down here with Arihaza, you want to send Arihaza workers here. We have the Palm Timber and Coconut nodes. Now the reason I have these nodes isn't because of the Palm Timber, because the Palm Timber is very, very cheap and bad, right? Sitting here at mid price. But I mainly have these nodes for the coconuts, which are sold out. Okay, so these are very, very valuable. If you want to make a lot of silver, boom, coconut. Coconut nodes are really, really good. Other than that, I don't believe I have anything going on other than that. I'm trying to think. Is that my whole... Oh, down here. Okay, Sandgrain. What node do I have? I have Nutmeg. I already showed you on the market. And I also send a worker down here for Daypalm. Daypalm's really, really good. And Titanium. Now, so like I showed you in Grana, right, Palm Timber, It's basically what I do is I turn them into trash crates. Okay, so I will come over here, pick these up, take these all the way back to Grana and to Old Wisdom Tree. Typically, I'll wait till this stacks up to like 200,000-ish, and then I'll bring them over to Grana and Old Wisdom, throw them in there, start the trash crates, and I try to maintain, or basically it maintains itself. So by the time that these run out, that palm timber and this palm timber runs out, I will already be up to like 150 to like 200,000 palm timber, to where I can just rinse and repeat. And basically, as long as I have blackstone powder, these crates are going on 24/7. The palm timber, Grana and Old Wisdom. And what I do with all my other materials like tin, fir, cedar, stuff like that, I let that build up while my trash crates are going, and then I will burn through them into plywood, okay? And I will then send those to Grana and turn them into money crates, which then later, whenever I do need silver, I will then turn in for silver, is basically what I do. So yeah, that is pretty much my whole node empire setup. I don't think there's anything else I need to share. So that's basically how you do it. You want the more expensive nodes, not the cheap nodes, just because a lot of players, what they'll do is, well, I need copper because I'm making copper crates and I need all the copper nodes. No, what you need is you need expensive stuff so you can sell the expensive stuff to buy even more of the cheaper stuff. So that's basically how you want to or how I've been playing for the past a little over 2 years. And yeah, and just to show you my cool unicorn, if I could find him, look at him. So beautiful. Yep, we just got him 2 days ago. So yeah, hopefully you guys like this video. Leave a thumbs up, thumbs down if you did. Doesn't matter. If you guys want to check out some more videos, I will post some more. Thank you guys for watching. You guys take it easy.